I'm Brahm. This is my basement, and welcome to Buy and Hold Fundamentals, where we'll be looking at about 20 properties each time, doing a very, very shallow and initial analysis to decide what's worth looking at later. So let's get started. Oop. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this. 420. Stick it into our sheet. Okay, anything on rent? No estimate, so we're going to go on the reverse 1%. Let's look at, close that down. What about taxes? Nothing on taxes. I'm going to say 12,000. What do we get? Minus 159. $4,200 minus 159, and what was the cash on cash? Minus 2. There we go. And on to the next one. Okay. And they're asking for 354 and change. Stick that in the sheet. See what they come up with. Assume 1%. Check on the taxes. Let's see, how are we for taxes? Blah, 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 blah. 9,100. Slim pickings. That's cash flowing 88 bucks, minus 88 bucks. Hold on. Oops, sorry. It's 88 minus. Up. What do we got here? Minus 1%. All over the place. Escape. Minus 1%. And on to the next one. It's a volumes game. Okay, here we go. Now, you may be asking yourself, what's the point at looking at a place where very obviously we're not really getting great margins. Ew, what the hell's happening here? And the simple answer to that is that you can learn a lot about a market by just looking at it, even if you come to the conclusion that there's no point in buying there. What's more, it can help you figure things out about adjacent markets. So just because you're not going to be buying in Fairlawn doesn't mean that you shouldn't be looking at it. Something's screwing up my formula. What did we say? Okay, just enter that manually then. $6,000 rent, and that's never happening. We don't know about tax, but I'm going to say 14,000 on this guy. And for some reason, this guy is cash flowing. 7. What do we say? Switching between tabs. 74 and 1%. They should make a shortcut for shifting between tabs the way you do between windows or applications. I always find myself doing... Oh, come on. There we go. Internet, you can do it. And there is no way of getting around just having to go through these guys and looking at them one by one. But as you can see, I'm spending very little time looking at them, because in the end what I'm planning to do is to decide which ones actually are worth my time. So first I got to figure out which ones definitely are not. Reverse 1% rule, and I promised to explain that at one point or another. Anything on taxes, 8,200. And what are we getting? Minus 54 and what percent? 3250 minus 54 minus 1%. If not what I meant. Minus 54 and minus 1%. There we go. On to the next one. Quite that much detail. And the reason I stick the addresses in here is because these, unless you're doing everything in a single day, things are likely to change on these sites because new stuff comes onto the market and goes off the market, and you're not going to remember all of it, so you might be looking at the same house twice without paying attention to it. And this way you avoid not being able to compare apples to apples. And we're going to say 5,000, which is wholly unrealistic. Nothing on taxes, but at 500,000 I'm going to say 13,000 in taxes. It is Jersey after all. And we're at a negative 63 cash flow. Negative 63, negative 1%. And we're on to the next one. I wonder how many houses we have to look at before we find something that's even worth investigating. Just annoys me. There we go. To be perfectly honest, that picture looks familiar. They're probably because it's the same place. That's interesting. Because it's the same place. Okay. And they got it on. Interesting. It's the same place. Be aware of suspicious listings like the last one, I guess. Now let's see what we can come up with. Okay. We're going to assume 1%. Let's see if we can find out something about taxes. 16,000. Okay, now, oops, sorry guys. 1,250, and I don't remember what that was. It was minus 42 and 0. On to the next one. Stick that in there and then go here and see what that brings us. Anything on taxes? Yada. Nope. And I'm gonna stay at 12,000 in taxes. Now what we're getting? Minus 156 minus 2. Minus 156 minus 2. And we're on to the next one. Okay. Better than watching paint dry. What are we getting? Not going to check the taxes out. What's interesting here is that you're seeing a very, very large range in price, no tax information, in a very similar area. And basically that's because you have older houses and then newer houses, or rather the same old houses that have been fixed up. And enlarged, and that's why there's a $300,000 swing on similar streets. And we're getting negative 143, negative 2, negative 143, negative 2, and we said 3 and rent. Okay. $390. Forgot to do it up here. I'm gonna say 3,900, and that's never happening either. And we have to go back here. Taxes 8.5. Making some money. Okay, we're getting 66, and we're getting 1%. And we're on to the next one. Stick that in there. And over here. And do a reverse 1%. And look at the taxes. What do they say? More or less the same. What are we getting? Also cash flow. 174,4390. 174. Question is, will these cash flow if we're putting in actual market rents? And that's what we'll find out when we look at the ones that might be interesting later on. Okay. 350. Stick that in there. And we go like that. And then we stick that in here. And we assume that reverse 1%. And now we need to just check the taxes, which should be similar. Yeah. Like that. And we're running at $7. Up. Okay, 70. 3,500. Did I change the rent? Yes, I did. And we're on to the next one. Do we have anything here? Yep, that's what I thought. Stick that in there. Shoot, not like that. Dummy. There we go. And grab the price. Dummy. Now the interesting thing with auctions is they'll have a foreclosure estimate or an auction price, or they'll have a starting price or what have you. And what you can do is reverse engineer your highest offer. I'm not going to go into that now, but that's if you're ever going to buy stuff at auction, figure out how much you should pay for it without you losing your pants. And I'm going to say 10,000. So that you don't overbid just because you're excited. Minus 50 and minus 1%. Okay. Next. Stick that in there. Grab the asking price or whatever that is. Stick that in there. Go to the analysis tab, and here we go. 3,600. Let's see if we got something on tax. Yep, 8.5. What are we getting now? $5. What did I do? 600? Yeah. 3,600. $5. 0. Was that it? Yep. Next one. Over here. And we stick that in there. And we grab that from here. Stick that in there. assume 1%, and let's check out the taxes. What have we got on taxes? 10,300, and we're making 99 bucks in a percent. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. Keep on forgetting. There we go. Grab that. Back to the sheet. Stick it in. Assume 1%. Look at the taxes. Nothing on the taxes. That's going to stay more or less the same. Making $5. Up. Next one. Stick that in there. Up. Okay. And now, oh shoot, what am I doing? Look what that gives us. Anything on taxes? Yeah, 8,750. The rent's gotta be 3,250, and we're losing 98 bucks. Okay, rent the rent, losing 98, losing a percent. Back to work. Not interested in a plot of land. There we go. I'll fix that later. What do we got here? Stick that in there. Anything on taxes? Blah, 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 blah. Nope, I'm gonna say 6,000. And we're losing 100 bucks. Yep. And it was 1 or 2%. 2%. Next. Always a good sign when there's no pictures, but who knows? Maybe 1 in 100 turns out to be something. Or maybe 1 in 500. No way getting around mining for deals. You just gotta do it. Taxes 7,880. Call it 7,900. And we're losing 69%. And we're on to the next one. Thing more here. Okay. Gonna go down. Where was it? Up. Yeah. Did all that stuff. Let's start working here. Trying to be systematic about how I cover Fairlawn, because otherwise I'm going to lose track of what I've looked at. And there we go. $4,250. What have we got in tax? 12 and a quarter. Okay. That's not looking fantastic. Minus 159 minus 2. 159 minus 2. Last one for today. Let's see what we got. Stick it in here. $6,150. There's a minus one, negative 1%. Not a negative, reverse. I'm gonna say that kind of price, a nice $14,000 tax bill, and we're still making $100 and a percent. Okay, that's the rent, which will never happen. And we're making 103, and we're making 1%. Okay. Well, we're done for today. Next time we'll look another 20 places until we've looked at this entire freaking town. I'm Bram. This was my basement and buy and hold fundamentals. See you next time.